Hey guys, coming to you from my living room here. Got some notes just because I want to make sure I say everything I need to say. Um, I'm a little reluctant to show you the video I'm about to show you, and there's a few reasons for that, but mainly it's because I think after kind of reviewing the clips, it really kind of shows a side of me that I might not really want everyone to see. A, I guess you might describe it as a neurotic side, and as I'm sure you can imagine, that side is kind of coming out a lot more with this pandemic stuff going on. So, but I've decided I do want to show it, and there's a few reasons for that. First of all, the fishing and the filming and the editing, it gives me something to focus on. I think I explained that in the last video. And typically, it calms me down. When I can focus on something and really put all my energy into it, I feel a lot more at ease. Another reason is that you know I don't just think of it as filming fishing. I think of it, especially now, as kind of documenting a time in history, in the world history, but also in my own personal history. I go back, every video I've ever made, I can go back to it and not just think about the fishing, but I can think about like what's been going on in my life at that time. And I know like a lot of, even friends and family aren't, so keen on watching 20-minute long fishing videos. It's just fishing, but to me, it's not. There's a lot more going on, and I understand that. Why would someone else see that when ostensibly it's just fishing? But that's how it is. So I do want these things to kind of look back on and be like, oh yeah, I remember that, and hopefully there's a much happier time when I look back and feel differently about all of this. But so yeah. Also, I want to show it because I'm sure there's a lot of other people out there feeling similarly to me with this kind of anxiety and just feeling just like uncertain and nervous everywhere you go. Um, so just to kind of show people that you're not alone feeling that way. I definitely feel that way. And then if you watch my experience that I'm about to show and it convinces you, okay, maybe I should stay home, maybe it's not worth going out right now, especially if you live in the metro New York area, then that might be a good thing too. Hold on, I'm not done. I just, the fish will always be there. The fish can wait. Yes, I'm reading this. Um, and again, if you live around here, I think it's a better idea to stay home. Um, as you will see in the video and here, there's just around here too many people that aren't taking this seriously, and aren't being considerate of other people and their comfort levels that, you know, I just don't think it's a good idea. Um, and also, by me going out there, I might be one of those inconsiderate people just by going out. So I'm guilty here too. So yeah, so I've decided that I'm gonna be staying put for a while. I do want to plug my Instagram. I just created it. I have maybe 9 or 10 posts at this point. It's just the Big Red Angler. Don't forget the. It's all lowercase. I don't know if that matters, but it's all no spaces or anything. Just the Big Red Angler. Um, and so I'm gonna try to get stuff up there pretty frequently, like once a day. So if you want to know what's going on with me, and final thing, so I'm gonna show the video right now, but just so you know, I'm gonna pop back in, from the living room to explain something that happened, something that I thought that I filmed, but I was gonna have to uh, blur out some faces anyway, but I actually didn't film it, so I'm just gonna tell a little story in a little while. But anyway, um, I don't know. Hope you enjoy, or hope you get something out of this. Without further ado, bleh. Okay, guys. Okay, guys.
For better or for worse, I'm braving the elements to fish. There's a lot of different information out there right now, whether you should go out at all, even if you are in such a secluded place. I'm at Twin Lakes Park in Bronxville because another thing people say is if you insist on fishing, to do it close to home. Of course, keep a safe distance from anybody. There are actually quite a few cars in the parking lot and quite a few people walking around in the woods here, but it's pretty easy to keep your distance from them. We're also working with a backup camera today because for the YouTube, the private YouTube channel I made for my students, I've been trying to film the birds, and I left the other camera on the windowsill and forgot about it overnight, and it rained and the microphone doesn't work. I brought it with me maybe just for some montage shots, but I think it's time I just get a GoPro. That one has had a scratch on the lens of it for a couple months anyway. But so yeah, I brought only the ultralight setup. We're gonna use some inline spinners, maybe drop shot, maybe some really small crankbaits and such. But the water probably isn't really that warm yet, so who knows what kind of an outing this is gonna be. I do have a mask. I feel like I'll use it if I have to be in any close proximity to people, but I think I'm okay. But thank you to my neighbor's daughter for, I think she made this mask. It's actually pretty high quality. Maybe I'll show it to you in a little while. But anyway, I don't know. Here we are, pretty early in the spring, so no crazy vegetation yet. That's a good thing. But like all these Westchester County lakes, this one has never been particularly kind to me. Yeah, let's get going. Okay, so yeah, the camera I'm using now is my original YouTube camera, which I thought I had destroyed when it fell into the water, but I was able to resurrect it using the old rice trick. But yeah, the quality probably won't be quite as good. I mean, my quality is never that good anyway, and it's also so dinged up that it doesn't really stay on this chest mount too well, so it might fall in the water again. But anyway, we're starting out with just a little spinnerbait. This is a Joe's Flies Striker. You've seen me use them quite a few times before. I like them, but they're very lightweight, and I forget what pound test this is, so I might not be able to cast it very far, but we're about to find out. Yeah, it doesn't cast too far. Takes forever for it to sink, too. Guys, I'm just going with a crusty little EP spinner here. I've had luck at this location in the past, particularly an outing I had on video last August with the EP spinner. It's also a lot heavier than that Joe's Flies thing, so I can cast it a lot farther. Oh yeah. It's like 3 times as far. This EP spinner is almost too big for the ugly stick ultralight I've got here. A lot of vegetation. So with this one, I should start reeling pretty soon after it hits the water so it doesn't go so deep. I'm seeing in the sunlight, I'm seeing a lot of water vapor come up when I bring a lure up and shake it off or whatever. So again, more for peace of mind than anything, I'm gonna put my mask on. I don't know what the chances are that Mr. COVID just happens to be somehow lurking in pond water, but there we go. Looking good. Except it fogs up my glasses, but I can fix that, I think. Keeping the rod tip high. Keep this thing out of the vegetation. Is that a fish? Oh, felt like something for a little bit. I don't think so. That was a tougher kind of plant that I laid into. Again, dogs on a leash, people. Because if one of these things bites me, the last place I want to be right now is a hospital, taking resources and exposing myself. Jesus, call your dog, please. I swear, like, I mean, I know they're probably friendly, but like, I don't know that. And if, again, I get bit, need medical care, first of all, shouldn't be the first person to get it, but second of all, then I'm going into the thick of, you know, pisses me off. Fishless, we're gonna go towards the dam, take a little walk here. Hopefully we don't run into any more, unleashed dogs. I know it's a little tense, and I hate to be like this, but I feel like people need to understand that you can't just walk around like nothing's going on. I think, it's a fine line between being overly cautious and, not cautious enough, but you also have to take other people's health and, comfort into effect, because everybody's tense right now. And if that means, giving someone more space, walking to the other side of the sidewalk when you're walking towards them, then just do it. I've been doing it. I don't know. Am I too uptight right now? I don't think I am. But if there's any time to be uptight, it's now. All right, guys, let's move. All right, before I get to the dam, I'm gonna try this spot for just a little bit here. Oh, I remember this. I don't know if I showed it in an old video, but it's an old fire extinguisher. So cool. Not a great casting situation here, but I think it does get a little deep towards the middle of this little inlet. No, can you call him, please? Go. Sorry, thank you. I'm telling you. But hey, that was a good reaction, right? I wasn't rude, just forceful. That was the same dog, by the way. Not a fish, just stuck. This might be it for the EP. That's it for the EP. You know what, we'll retie, get over to the dam. We're probably going to go drop shot next, either that or tiny crankbait. Again, so I thought I had filmed the next part, but apparently I did not, and maybe it's better off because I feel like even watching it would make me a little anxious. But so I was walking from that last location over to the dam, and it reaches a point in the woods where there's a path that there's really nowhere to like stand to the side if you have to pass other people. It's narrow, and there was a young family walking towards me, two little kids, no older than 3 or 4, and their parents. And I stood off to the side on this rock. It was like the only place I could really stand and let them pass. And as they're passing, first of all, the dad kind of stops a little too close to me and asked me about the fishing, and I'm just like, yeah, do you catch fish here? Yes, it's not a great spot to fish, but sometimes I catch fish, just pleasantries, and I let them pass. Well, as I'm letting them pass, one of these little boys, this little 3-year-old kid, coughs, like a nice big cough. And like he even like kind of tried to put his hand in front of his mouth, but it wasn't close. It was like 6 inches away, which also told me that his parents had kind of coached him to do that, meaning maybe he had been sick lately. You know where this is going. So unfortunately, this happens right as they're passing me on this rock, meaning that to get to where I need to get, I kind of have to go through this, cloud of cough dust, if you will. And in my head, it's a literal cloud just engulfing me, because I'm crazy. So
Now I did have that mask on, and it was covering my nose. I know in a lot of this video it's not, but it was covering my whole face, and I walked through, and but yeah, and then I went. I had thought I filmed myself, you know, saying like, "Geez, if you have kids who are coughing, stay home. We know that kids aren't as nearly as affected as other people, so you know your kid might have this thing." Anyway, it really rattled me, and you know, I went to the dam for a little while, as you will see, but it 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 got in my head. It got in my head, and like that. So here's the rest of the video.
I have to say, guys, I don't really know how much longer I can go based on my anxiety levels right now because of that what just happened. But I don't know. So then it's just like I guess I don't know. You know, I know I'm showing kind of a vulnerability right here, but you know, again, if there was ever a time to feel vulnerable, this is it. That really freaked me out, and I had pretty much had not anything scary happen in quite a while, so I don't know. I'm gonna put a drop shot on. I'm gonna try to fish for a little bit, try to calm down. This little gulp minnow on a drop shot. I figure smaller profile, so even the little panfish with smaller mouths can maybe have fun with that. It's about 18 inches off the bottom. Hopefully that'll keep it off the out of the vegetation. Fish swirls here, guys. Let's see if it's anything to write home about. I just broke off on a cast, and I think I'm done. I have to say, I don't know what I'm gonna do at least this month, because this was tense out here, and fishing shouldn't be tense. You know, I think anywhere, any public place you go, even if it's a big open area, you're running a risk. There's always a small risk. Even when I go to get my curbside pickup at Captain Lawrence Brewery, there's a little bit of a risk. So, that risk just makes me very uncomfortable and anxious. And I know some people maybe not so much, clearly, but this might be it for a while. You know, of course I will fish again, but this was not fun. This was not fun. So I'll keep in touch. Hope everybody is healthy and safe, and just gonna, you know, keep going, hold it together, keep taking care of each other. All right, be well.